touch this. Can't touch this. I can't touch this. Can't touch this. My music hits me so hard. It makes me say, oh my Lord, thank you for blessing me with a mind to rhyme and to high feet. It feels good when you know you're down. A super dope homeboy from the Oak Town. I know there's such, and this is the beat, and you can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. I can't touch this. A fresh new kicks advance. You gotta like that. Now you know you wanna dance. Come move out of your seat. I gotta fly up, baby, catch this speed. While it's rolling, hold on. Bump a little bit, let them know it's going on like that. Like that. Girl, don't mention so for the back. Let them know that you too much. And this is the B1, 2, 3. Are you told them you can't touch this?
Where are you? They entered the fray.
Well. We are back again, and hopefully we are live from, as per usual, the rolling hills of Murrayshire, in the far northeast corner of bonny Scotland. Where else would you rather be? Well, maybe I could think of a few places, but not many, right? Not many can match the beauty in a geographical sense when it comes to Murrayshire, the northeast of Scotland. There is no match. So, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night, wherever you may be, wherever you are in this absolutely insane world that we live in. Yikes. Where do you even begin? Honest to God. Anybody? Anyone want to make a start on the world that we're in today? Where do you begin? Honestly. Wow. Every day now, every week, more and more. We've been over the past maybe 3 years, everything that we pretty much predicted, if you like, it has all came to the excess deaths at the moment. Holy moly! Yikes! And they still, well, it's coming out a wee bit in the mainstream media, which is interesting as well. But with that said, everything that's coming out, we already knew it. Nothing they tell us is new, at least not to us anyway. And it is all coming out. An orchestrated state collapse, government collapse is well and truly underway. And we seen the document, the World Economic Forum document that talked about, well, it predicted global collapse, state collapse, government collapse, right across the board. Youth disillusionment in the government, complete kickback, right across the board. A complete lack of distrust in science is what they talked about. I wonder how that could come about, right? Of course, what did they say? They said, trust the science. Forget the conspiracy theories. Trust the science. What can go wrong, right? Here, have this inoculation of a super duper therapy. It's a wonder drug. Actually, I shouldn't laugh, but hey, I better watch what I'm saying because we are live tonight on the original channel, and it's a bit of a risk because we're on 2 strikes already. So yeah, I better watch what I'm saying. Speaking of strikes, Sensum, our English brother, picked up a strike. He's currently, I shouldn't laugh, but hey, I know the feeling. It's not good. It's typical of the tyranny that we're still under on YouTube. It is absolutely horrendous, honest to God. There is no such thing as free speech. You simply do not have it. And I would appeal if Sensum is about, so maybe he'll win his appeal, right? Maybe they got it wrong and they might apologize. Of course, they've done that before to me, terminated my channel twice, deleted it twice, and of course came back to say after an appeal that they wrongfully deleted it, wrongfully terminated it. Of course they did. Yeah, oops. Sorry about that, right? So I guess tonight I better watch as well. I shouldn't laugh. It could be me. And if I do get a strike, then yeah, we're going to be terminated again on the original channel. So I took a risk. We're going to be live tonight on the original, but I would say after tonight, the majority of stuff, it will go down on the backup channel until at least the summer, round about then maybe. I think it might be May actually, when when one of the strikes is no longer in existence. And to be honest, it's a bit of a risk putting it out on it tonight, but we done it right. And I hate the fact we have to censor ourselves. I hate it. I want to say what what I need to say, but hey, that's the world we're in when it comes to YouTube. Like we've said before, we've set up on Odyssey, the website, so forth. So we prepared the ground for it. We know the game that we're in. YouTube don't want us here, pretty much. They've made it clear, right? They have made that clear. So we've set up elsewhere and we'll keep going. No matter where it's going to be, we're going to keep going. Hopefully, the people that we've got here can continue to follow, right? If not, then we'll be here. At least I'll be here until YouTube kick me off again, right? Could be any time. God only knows. The previous strike was a video that got done in 2021. So I don't know. It might not even be a new video. It could be an old video. It's quite comical, but there you go. That's the world we're in. Welcome to 2023. Hooray! What's next? You're going to tell us they're blocking out the sun or planning to? Well, yeah, of course. They're already blocking it out. Who would we be? Who would we be kidding if we thought any different? Let's face it. I don't think they can hide it anymore. That is why geoengineering is going to go ahead. They cannot hide it anymore. It's so blatant, so obvious. Too many people are now asking questions. Wait a minute. Maybe not a contrail after all, right? Yeah. So we're going to get into tonight. You might be wondering, what the hell, Satan? What has Satan got to do with it? Well, all will be revealed there, and it's quite fitting, to be honest, because in my own personal view, when you get right down to the bare roots of geoengineering, it can only be satanic rooted because it is evil to its core. It is not a solution to anything whatsoever. And judging by the history of these entities, whatever they do go ahead and do in the open, it is not going to be good. It is in no way going to be good. It can't be. It won't be. It simply will not be. So we kind of need to. I mean, I want to say we need to stop it, but again, we already know it's going ahead. It's been happening for decades now. And in my own view, again, there's one entity in particular that this entity, it is the main driver behind geoengineering. No two ways about it, in my own view. Some of you might be able to guess who it is, right? Anyone want to take a guess who it might be? What we'll do is we'll say hello. Hopefully the audio's all right because yeah, I've been moving about lots of stuff. My my Wi-Fi, the internet has not been great tonight. Well, do you know this? It's been okay all day. And then as soon as I went on to go live, it started playing up. Yeah, typical, right? What can you do? So let's jump in the chat. We'll say hello, and then I've got about maybe let me think. 6 articles to point out, different stories, and yeah, hopefully people can engage and let me know what you think. So we'll jump into the chat. On Fire Foley in the Hood, good to see you back again. A pleasure tonight. Mike Met in the Hood, good to see you. We're all good with the audio, so I'll take your word for it, right? Great stuff. A dog named Boo, good to see you as well. My coffee's coming back at the moment. Good to see a dog named Boo in the Hood. It's a duck, a pleasure to see you. Wendy B in the Hood, great stuff. Toby, where did he go? There he goes as well. Back again, good to see Toby. Katie is in the Hood as well. Good to see Katie. Jack Russell, good to see Jack back again. Carl as well, a pleasure. A pleasure to see Carl. It is Solomon Kane, but with a different name. There you go. A poet, right? Solomon Kane back again. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're well. And of course, the criminal himself, right? Oh man, terrible sense. Imagine giving out medical misinformation. How could you do that? Think how many lives you've put at risk now with your lies and your deception, right? Yeah, sure. Let me know if you put in an appeal because yeah, I would appeal against it if you if you reckon you never said anything that was actually medical misinformation. Yeah, I've done it before. I've lost appeals and I've won appeals, so yeah, let me know. Welcome to 2023, right? Honestly. So Sensum is in currently YouTube prison at the moment, so give him a shout, right? Send him a letter. Justine, the beautiful Justine, and Carmel as well. Fantastic. Great to see you both. I reckon, if I remember correctly, I've got an article that mentions New Zealand. So hopefully you're around for that one, right? Carmel, who is all the way down under. Yeah, all right for some, right? Or maybe not. Uh, we always tend to reckon or believe that the grass is greener, but 9 times out of 10, it's not. In my own view, it's not. But there's no harm in trying, right? You've got to, if you're not content, you've got to seek the contentness, I guess, right? Who else did I see? We are back again on the original channel after we got 2 weeks in YouTube prison. And so I reckon we've been about a month away on the original channel. So some people might have thought, wait a minute, where did that guy go? That crazy Scottish guy? Some people think that I'm Irish as well, which is quite funny. Although I've not had that in a while. Yeah, the Irish guy. Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. Why not? Um, to be fair, I have been called worse than Irish, so yeah, let's go with that. I did Hasdak in the hood, Rumble. I'm not that keen on Rumble. I am actually on Rumble, to be honest. So why you should be following me there if you're recommending in it, right? I am there. It is linked in or synced up with a YouTube channel that I've got. I don't know what one, to be honest. I'm not that keen on it. I don't know. I was gonna get rid of Rumble, but I'm gonna keep it open just in case, right? It could be a good idea to keep it going because it could be the only show. We have got Odyssey, and of course we have the YouTube channel. Sorry, the website. That's life, but not as we know.com. And I suppose, yeah, for the time being, two YouTube, well, three actually YouTube channels, but yeah, we're on thin ice at the moment. I don't want to get terminated, deleted again. Um, but it's completely out of my hands. I try my best not to break any guidelines, but the guide that seemingly the guideline that got broken before, it came out on March the 5th this year, and the video got done in January or something, March 2021. So how could you possibly know about a guideline that was going to come out in the future? But I got a strike and I got YouTube prison. Shock horror. I did appeal, but to no avail, right? Shock horror. I did see Toby, It's a Duck. No Perils as well in the hood. Dave, good to see Dave A back again. Bry as well, good to see Bry. I think I might have got everybody. I think Mike's here as well, but I can't seem to. Ah, Jojo Gizmo as well, in the hood. Um, Nell, is it? Is it? Let me see. I can't see if it's Neil or I think it's Neil. Yeah, we'll go with Neil. My eyesight is terrible. We'll go with Neil, right? Good to see Neil. Yeah, so there we go. We're okay. The useful channel as well. Great stuff. Amir in the hood as well. Good to see you. Good evening. Let me know what the weather is like in your area. The spraying. I've not seen much, but at the moment, here in particular, the majority of activity in the air is military. Big time activity at the moment. I shouldn't laugh because I kind of get the feeling they are gearing up for, I don't know, I guess maybe World War III of some sorts, which is kind of all that we need, right? But there's certainly lately a lot of activity in at the military base beside me. US military are here, quite a lot of them. US Navy, US Marines. At the moment, UK activity is quite high, and judging by some of the current flight paths, it's not training, so they could be on the lookout. And I've said it before, and I reckon it is the case. I reckon the military in the UK are on high alert, and I reckon that the UK is currently a target for of some sorts for something to go down. I don't know what. I'm kind of hoping that it's not the UK, obviously, for obvious reason. Yeah, you wouldn't want it to be anywhere. And I'm unsure what's going to go down. Before, I listed about 5 different countries I reckon could be a target. Romania, Poland. What was it again? Romania, Poland, Germany. Was it Latvia? Romania, Poland, Germany, Latvia, and the UK. And I mean, if they did hit the UK, that would set the ball rolling for all out World War III. I don't know what would happen then, but there would be retaliation of some sorts. You would imagine, at least. But judging by the current movements, they are on some sort of alert. And I'm right here beside the military base. And I mean, I'm used to certain going ons, movements in and out, but lately, I'm hearing it, seeing it. But I also check it on the flight radar, so I'm keeping an eye on the UK as a whole. And I don't know. They're talking about this warning text message that you're going to get. I tried to switch mine off, so I'm hoping it's off. Seemingly, if you switch it off, your phone can be disabled. Of course, right? I mean, that's the only way they can bribe people. Yeah, because no one bloody wants it. No one cares. Why would they want that on their bloody phone? Honest to God. And I seen that when seemingly the text message you get, it's going to be sent out on St. George's Day. Hey, that says it all. Honest to God, that says it all. And it's not good, not going by what I can see. And It is on the do we know what date it's on? Some of you'll know. Sensum's definitely gonna know, right? Our English patriot in the hood. What day is St. George's Day? Does anyone else know? Anthony's bound to know. Our English brother. PJ as well in the hood. Good to see PJ. Brian as well. Good to see Bri. Great stuff. October knows the score. The 23rd of April. Yeah, Bri knows as well. People know, of course. The 23rd, right? Of course, sent some new. I knew, hey, yeah, of course. But do we know what else happened on the 23rd of April? Do you know who was born on the 23rd of April? A famous character from the UK. His name similar, well, the same first name as me. Uh, William Shakespeare. Of course, yeah, Wee Willie Shakespeare, right? I'm not sure if Hitler was, but do you know it was seemingly, and I'm saying seemingly because I don't bloody know. I'm going by what they tell us, right? But from what I could see, um, Shakespeare was born on the 23rd of April and died on the 23rd of April as well on St. George's Day. And it's not just a random date. No way. Honest to God, I only looked at it briefly and I thought, oh, yeah, here we go. Here we go. Right. So I reckon we might get into that next week, possibly. But this text message, this alarm system, excuse me, this system they're talking about, people should not sign up to it. In my own view, don't have it on your phone. Simply don't. But again, they're bribing people by saying, "Well, we'll disable your phone," right? The only way they can get people is by bribing and bullying them. But eventually, stuff like that, it's going to be mandatory of some sort. But for the time being, we've got to push back as much as we can, right? Yeah, of course, the the first male to be inoculated in the UK, William Shakespeare. And honest to God, I still can't believe that was the guy's name. Well, fucking hell. I mean, you could not make that up, man. I could not believe it. William Shakespeare, come on. Honest to God. If ever there was a sign to tell you you're living in a theater, it was that. That was it. To an extent, to an extent where it was almost mocking. It probably was mocking, to be honest. I mean, so blatant, so obvious, man. And totally, of course, the masses oblivious to it completely. Think nothing of it whatsoever. But there you go, right? The whole world, a stage. You could not make that up. And they do that quite a lot on the media and the news. Different names that I mean, it's so comical. I can't think of any offhand, but it's almost like they made it up, right? Shocking that. Who would have thought it? But there you go. So I don't know if the guy is still on the go. I hate to say it, but I doubt it very much, to be honest. There's a lot coming out, and someone said to me, "Well, oh, I can't remember if it was on Twitter or Telegram. It's a big surprise about all the people that have been. It's a big surprise. I'm really, hey, I've got to watch what I'm saying, right? But when it comes to the excess deaths, let's say, it's a big surprise. Seemingly, well, to me, it's not. And I would imagine to a lot of people here, it is not a surprise. No way is it a surprise. Unfortunately, we already knew what was awaiting and what we're getting currently. Yeah, the Francis Bacon and Shakespeare story is an interesting one as well. But again, we'd add more to the fact that we live in a theatre. I mean, even that, the Shakespeare, is complete deception as well. So you couldn't make it up, let's face it. Um, Someone mentioned it before. A lot of people don't know about it. We might get into it in the future because it's right up our street, to be honest. Anything that is, yeah, a bit on the strange side, let's go with that. We can't say conspiracy theories because it's not. It might be to the the sheeple, but it's not. Let's face it. Where's my glass? There it goes. Vodka. There we go. Right. If only. So, good evening. Let me know what you're up to tonight. Where are we gonna go first? Let me see. We'll go to screen share. I don't think I've got any videos, so just articles, right? I don't think anything groundbreaking, to be honest. Vodka, yeah, if only. Do you know this? I can't even remember the last time I drank vodka. It's not my cup of tea. It would be more a single malt whiskey, or I don't know, maybe a Morgan's spiced, possibly. Vodka, no. When I was a young guy, yeah, but today I don't. My wife is when she drinks, it's vodka. How anyone can drink it, I don't know. But people say that when it comes to whiskey, so whatever floats your boat, right? I don't drink as much as I used to, or as much as I probably would like to be honest. But my body, it can't handle it as much as um when I was a young guy. I'm getting old. I'm cracking on, right? In Scottish terms, I'm pretty much middle aged, over the hill, on the downward slope now. I think the male life expectancy in Scotland is about 40. Well, not quite that low. Not yet. I shouldn't laugh, right? It's terrible that. It is absolutely terrible. But I reckon it's about I think it's less than 70. I think it's less than that now. And I mean, you've got to be about 70 to collect your pension. So you're not even gonna see it. And when it comes to the health of the majority of Scotland, it's bad, really bad. The alcohol issues are enormous. They're enormous for the population size of a of the country. The population's quite small, but the enormity of the alcohol issues is staggering. I mean, it is beyond belief. When it comes to alcohol, drug issues, it would match any third world nation. I shit you not. It is absolutely horrendous, even in a wee town that I'm in. It is so bad. It would shock a lot of people. And the media don't care. To be honest, they don't care. They do not care. Shock horror. I wouldn't hold my breath on them caring, to be honest. Um, they don't. The police don't care. Someone phoned up the Richie Allen show talking about why is no one reporting the pandemic situation and the criminality of the government and so forth, and stressing out. Hey, why is no one reporting it? Hey, you would be wasting your bloody time. What good would it do? It would not do any good whatsoever. The best thing you can do is not comply all the way. Going to the police station, it wouldn't do anything. And look at the guy who did. The guy Mark, Mark Sexton, an English guy, an ex police officer. He went to the police about it with evidence and documents and papers and blah blah blah, and nothing happened. Nothing happened at all. Nothing would ever happen in that sense. Um, what it would actually take to make real change, I'm unsure. It's not anything that we've done already. It can't be. 1 million people marched. Nothing changed. They still went to war in the days of criminal Tony Blair in Iraq. Nothing happened. What good did it do? No good whatsoever. Nothing that we've done has ever changed anything in our benefit. So we've got to think outside the box, right? We've got to. But in my own view, first and foremost, non-compliance is the only way forward. Because ultimately, the bottom line, the first thing that we need to be united on is the fact that we're being lied to every single fucking day. And we have been since before I was even born. Probably since before we were all born, to be honest. And the main single fact we need to be together to be united on is the fact that we cannot trust the British political establishment in no way whatsoever. No way. Not on maybe this issue here, but maybe not that one. No, none of it. Not any of it. No way. Not a single word or sentence. None of it. Not any of it. And where we go from there, I'm unsure. But it has to be from us. It has to be on our terms. It can't be on the terms of the powers that be, because that is in the pipeline by the looks of it as well. I kind of feel like we are now in a race against time, a race against the clock. But in a sense, I mean, there is no end game here. There's no end game when it comes to control. Control is the end game. But continued control is what they want. It's what they've basically already got. But they want it to an extreme extent. An unbelievable extent, to be honest. It's quite hard to comprehend. I mean, when you get right down to it, how much are they going to actually strip away in regards to freedom? Are we talking about right down to the freedom of thought, where even if they, because they talk about mind reading technology, you could potentially be picked up for an illegal thought, a hateful thought, maybe. Next thing you know, at the door. What was that illegal thought that you had today? You thought you were thinking about hating someone. Man, that would be enough to put anyone going on a laptop or a computer, you would imagine, right? But I don't know. I mean, we already know about Facebook, Spacebook, talking about mind reading technology. How good it actually is another question. I've always kind of thought, nah, they can't do it. They can't, but I don't know. I'm unsure. Who here reckons they've got the technology to read people's minds? Has anyone seen any experiments where they've proved that they can? I remember reading about how Facebook would not read your whole brain, but only a wee part of it. So you wouldn't have to worry, right? It was only going to read a wee part of it. And I thought, surely not. Surely it would be, they would be reading the whole lot, right? Right, you would imagine. So I reckon, I mean, it kind of gives you the creeps a bit, to be honest. And I've said it before, I feel sorry for any human who gets the responsibility of looking at the data collected by reading my mind. Honest to God, they're going to have a hell of a job on their hands, them guys. They've scanned my head. There's nothing there. Yeah, they done that with me. I went to get my brain checked out when I fell off my bike, and they shined a light through my ear, and you could see it on the wall at the other side. So they knew there was no issue there, right? Yep, all clear, good to go. Yeah. I shouldn't laugh because I did fall off my bike. Not good, right? Not advised. Don't do it. And remember, always wear a helmet, right? Yeah, no matter what, always be prepared. Protect yourself. Safety first, right? In more ways than one. TWPB as well. I know it sounds cheesy, right? But the ruling class forces hate and the antichrist agenda to overcome. We have to be followers of Jesus. Yeah. I don't know if that would get us very far. It would certainly help a lot of people. We've got to look after ourselves first as well. So I get that, but in a productive sense, I don't know, but I certainly see what you're saying about the hatred of Christianity. I think religion as a whole is doomed. They don't want in the in the reset that we're going through. That includes religion as we knew it. That'll be gone. That shouldn't laugh, but that will be gone. I don't think there's going to be much freedom in the way of choosing a religion. It'll be one gigantic faith, if you like, which is already in the pipeline. We've touched on it before. I can't remember the name of it. It's recognized by the United Nations, and it's basically a satanic religion. Shock horror, shock horror. Right? Imagine that. Who'd have thought it? But there you go. But I mean, I certainly wouldn't knock anybody that's got faith in a higher power. We'll go with that. I know a lot of people, they see through the church and religion. A lot of it gets spun into an enterprise, pretty much, and driven how the psychopaths see fit. So there's a lot of confusion there, a lot of charlatans, I guess, in that world. A lot of people make a lot of money in the the faith game, if you like. Um, but I certainly wouldn't knock anybody. I come from a family of Christians. My dad being a born again Christian, my granny and my dad's mother and father being Christians as well, both Catholic and Protestant as well, which is interesting because my grandfather on my dad's side was a hardcore Protestant, and his wife was a hardcore Catholic. So, hey, love, right? Love has no barrier, not even between a Protestant and a Catholic. So that made for interesting times, I'd imagine, right? Frowned upon by a lot of people, of course. Yeah, especially going way back. That would have been in about, oh man, let me think. When would they have got married, roughly? You're talking probably way back in the 1930s, honestly. My dad was born in 1942. I think my granddad was born in about 1920, maybe. So quite a while ago, right? Some guy, my granddad on my dad's side, quite the character. Um, he got affected quite badly during I think the Second World War. He lost a lot of friends who went to fight. He had to stay at home. I can't remember what exactly the job he had, but it was quite an important trade that he done, and he was needed. I think he actually wanted to go, but he couldn't. And I think he lived with a lot of regret because he lost his friends who went to fight in a war and never came back. And of course, going to fight for what they thought was good freedom, maybe. And when I think about the amount of people who lost their lives in the war and how they got duped, lied to, it makes it even worse as well. I mean, they would be turning in their bloody graves, man. Honestly. So many good men, women, so many, too many. And still today, we've got war right across the world, basically. No need for it whatsoever, but money, right? Yeah, lots of money. When it comes to war, cha-ching. But now it seems to be it seems to be worse. They seem to be up in the ante, right? And we actually talked about it years ago. We're entering this 1984 new war order. Not a new world order, a new war order. And I think about a year ago too, maybe a year and a half, maybe, I done two separate live streams where we discussed what we were calling, or I called, the new war order. That's what we're in. We're heading into it. It will be like 1984 on steroids. Hooray! Yeah. And I do kind of get the feeling society is going to kind of split into two. There's going to be the people for and the people against. And of course, the people against is going to be people like me and you, and they're going to try and make our lives an absolute misery. But they can only do that if we let them. So we're going to keep going. We keep our heads high. Um, there was a guy talking about smart meters on the Richie Allen show. Who phoned it? A guy that phoned in. I mean, I've already got one, kind of. The house that I moved into already had it, so I kind of don't have a choice. But up until I moved out of my previous property, I said no all the way. But I do know as well that when is it? I can't remember what year, but in a few years from now, not even many, they're going to be switching off the pay-as-you-go grid, certain signals for it. So eventually, people are not going to have a choice. They're going to have to get a smart meter. Otherwise, they've not got any electric. And if you don't think that'll happen, I shouldn't laugh. If you don't think they'll do that all right. And the way it's going, they'll build up the fear of switching it all off. And of course, at the moment they're throwing smart meters at everyone and their dog. Here, smart meter, smart meter. But that'll change. Hey, going out on a limb a wee bit, but I can see it happening. It'll change, and it'll be a case of, well, actually, there's a big shortage of them now. It's not so easy to get one now. And eventually, people will be bloody begging for them. You might hear my dog, my mother-in-law's dog. He's snoring away in the background. Smudge, little bugger. But honestly, I can see it because not everyone is going to sign up to it. They simply won't, and they know that. Of course, they do their computer modeling, predicting the behavior. And they know there's die-hard people who simply will not do it. But it's going to come to a point where you won't have a choice. And I reckon maybe bear that in mind as well. If you've got a family as well, maybe it's worth thinking about. I mean, I wouldn't say go and get a smart meter, but just be sure that you kind of are protected. You've got a good electricity company, a good setup, because the way it's going at the moment, it's quite bad. They're basically blowing everything up at the moment, adding to the complete chaos. I mean, the amount of incidents that we've had across the world. I mean, I mean, they're not even trying to hide it. Let's face it anymore. They're simply not. They're all out in complete self-destruct. And it all kind of kick-started when you think back to the lockdown. As soon as lockdown happened, that was it. They just into fifth gear, all out. And I said it at the very start. When they rolled out the pandemic, they showed their hand. They showed their hand, clear as day. Clear as day. That is why so many people woke up to it, because you could see it. They showed their hand. The whole world in lockstep. Like that. Just, I mean, you could not make it up. You could not make it up. We seen it in action. We seen the beast system operated by the hidden hand in all out full swing tyranny mode. The whole world bowed down to it. Right in front of us. We seen it. We called it. And many people woke up because they seen it. They seen it as well. And every time, or any time they are to pull such a orchestrated situation, they will again show their hand. Which is probably another reason as to why it does not happen so often. But if they do it again, it will be clear as day again. There'll be so many red flags that point to, yep, orchestrated, coordinated. But of course, that would be a conspiracy, right? A conspiracy theory. But there you go. When I think back to Dr. Cahill, the Irish lady, who was for a long time, for a long time was a mainstream go-to for all you need to know doctor. Every single thing that she said we're seeing it today. Everything she said. And I remember thinking when she said it, oh Jesus, no. I hope to God not. And I wish she was wrong about it. Honest to God, but she's not. And I can't say what she said. I can't say anything about it, but we all know. Some of you will remember what she said. It's all coming too. If I said it, we would get deleted again. So I can't risk it, right? We are on the original channel tonight. So let me see. We're dragging on a bit. You might be wondering, what's Satan? What is that all about? What has Satan done now, right? Honestly. Well, it might not quite be what you think, right? Let me see if I can work it. Right. Ah, there we go. We are cooking. Yeah, we're going. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. Dolores Cahill. Yep, pretty much every single thing that she said. If you don't know of her, you might want to look it up, and then you'll get an idea, right? Of course, I'm assuming you people know who I'm talking about. Probably most people don't. Who's this guy talking about now? Talking about some doctor, some Irish doctor. Yeah, certainly worth checking out. She's a fighter, Dolores, a proper warrior. Certainly. So let me see. Rich is in the hood as well. Good to see Rich back again. My Scottish brother. Great stuff. So we'll jump to full screen. Um, why? What? It seems to. It's all changed since I've been on it before. They've added stuff to it. That's the one I need, I believe. Yeah, we'll go with that. What's the dog doing? He's okay. We're good to go. So some of you might have noticed in um the screen saver, the thumbnail, quite an interesting picture. I'm trying to get it up, but I can't. You said that before, right? Totally not. But I'll show you. I've got a picture here, right? Of the thumbnail, that is. So I'll take you to now. I want to make sure we're okay. We're good. We're all good. Yeah. We are live on the 2 channels tonight as well. So if you see a comment that you can't see, it's because they're on the other side, right? The dark side. You should be subscribed, but some people still don't seem to want to subscribe to both channels, which is totally fine. I'm not going to keep saying get subscribed. Hey, do what you need to do. We've got the 2 channels. They are linked in pretty much everywhere, so you can't go wrong, right? So we'll jump to this here. This image is the one that I'm referring to. Self-portrait, right? The devil himself. Yeah, quite fitting with a balloon as well, and you'll see why. So this here is seemingly. Oh man, I'm not even going to be able to read that. Let me see. Seemingly it's the devil, right? A picture of the devil, a drawing of the devil, Satan. And he has indeed got a balloon in his hand. And there's 3 guys attached to it here. Seemingly the Duke of York. And this plate of Satan holding the preponderance of power. Or Bonaparte's threat. Do we know what that is? Do we know what that's referring to? It would be Napoleon. It talks about. I can hardly make it out. I need the magnifying glass. And I've tried to make it bigger than that, but I can't. Same old story. But you can clearly see the storm clouds in the background. The storm that's brewing, the waves getting bigger, stormy, if you like. The lightning at the back, the serpent breathing the fire, right? So quite an interesting image. Is that a fish there? I think it might be. I can't make it out. It appears to be either some sort of fish or, I don't know, a worm or a snake. I don't think it's mentioned there though. I can't really see it. But what are we saying? Bonapartites. Who is the whose second name would that belong to? Does anyone know? I already mentioned, so some of you might know. Why is it not showing me that? Ah, there we go. Jim M in the hood as well. Good to see Jim back again. So it would be the second name of Napoleon. And I was unsure to begin with, but I don't know if anybody knew that seemingly if you break it down, it means good solution. So it's a good solution, right? He's a good solution. And I mean, that is quite fitting as well. You could hardly make it up, to be honest. But I used this image in particular because it's the best one for the article that we're away to get into, which is where the title of the video, the live, comes from. Satan in motion. And like I said about in reference to geoengineering, it is the work of the devil. It can only be. The roots of it cannot be good. It simply cannot be. And again, in my own personal view, the spraying has been going on for decades now. Decades. And I still get people saying, oh, it's already going on. Don't you know it's already going on? Of course I know it's already going on. So I always tend to try and stress that when I'm doing a live about it. In my own view, it's already going on. But again, to add to that, I would stress, and as far as I'm aware, I'm the only person who has said this. The geoengineering program, the stratospheric aerosol injection in the open will go ahead no matter what. And it has to go ahead because, again, it is the perfect cover for the crime that is already being committed right above our fucking heads. For decades. Too many decades. Right in front of our eyes. And too many people now are asking questions. Hey, wait a minute, they're saying. What the is going on up there? Climate change, right? It'll be that climate change. Yeah. So, me personally, and I did kind of go out on a limb saying it, by saying it'll go ahead no matter what. In my own view, it will. And I reckon you can take that to the bank. It's in motion. Any balloon testing that they done, it's nonsense. We talked about make sunsets before, the cowboys of the geoengineering industry. Like they all ain't, right? Sure. But it doesn't stop there. The American government are in on it. Washington have got a 5-year plan. Hooray! The US! The land of hope and glory. We're going to save the day. Protect freedom. Yeah, remember, protect freedom. The war on terror. Yeah, the good guy in the United Nations are also beating the drum. We need more testing, more research, and who's going to govern it? I wonder. It can't be just any random nation. Oh, no, 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 no. What will be the solution? It's a mystery. A complete mystery, right? I don't know what the solution's going to be there. But I'm sure we'll get to, if we're lucky, find out, right? So some of you might know already about the United Kingdom carrying out some form of test or experiment. Yay! In relation to stratospheric aerosol injection. Shock horror, right? Yeah. I mean, why would the UK be doing that? I thought the UK was not affected by climate change. If we are affected by climate change, why are we paying other countries compensation that are also seemingly affected by climate change? I mean, it's comical when you think about it. The UK, the tiny wee island affected by the weather continuously to an extent where it drives people insane pretty much in Scotland, the rain. It's us that should be getting the compensation. Us. But of course it's not, right? But here we are, the UK. Oh, we'll do the experiments, right? We're the good guys. Yeah. Let's go with that. Now, like I said at the very beginning, in my own personal view, when it comes to geoengineering and, if you like, chemtrails, weather modification, there's one main entity behind it. There's one main driver behind it. This singular force, if you like, pushing it constantly at every turn, every corner. Now, some people believe, some people think this entity is a space agency. Yep, a space agency. And seemingly, they went to the moon. Not only that, first time, absolutely flawless. Not a single issue. Nope, not a peep. And seemingly, they even landed people on the moon. On the moon! Yeah, that entity. But of course, they only lied about the moon landing way back in the 70s, the 60s, right? They don't lie about stuff today. Some people actually, they actually think that. Oh, yeah, they only lie about some stuff. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with that. So some people might call them, I don't know, a space agency. But in my own view, no. They're not. They are, if anything, a weather agency. That's it. And to be honest, for the life of me, I can't help but wonder what they actually do with all the money that they get. What the hell do they actually do with it? Honest to God. And when I looked at the Skylab situation in the 70s, wow, what a con. What a con. How anybody bought that, I don't know, to be honest. But there you go. I guess if they believed men walked on the moon, first time, completely flawless, not an issue, then I guess, yeah, they could potentially believe anything. Who was it again that said, oh, people will believe anything if it's on the TV? Someone said that, but I can't remember who it was. Probably butchering the quote. Someone's bound to remember that, surely. Or did I imagine it? Dreamt it? Or did they say they'll only believe it when it's on the TV? It might have been that. Was it Nixon? Yeah, I think it was actually. Showland. I think it might have been President Nixon. Bill Hicks. I don't think it was Bill. Although it does sound a bit like Bill Hicks, right? Some great comedy from Bill. Recycled a lot, but I guess that was done working circuits. But yeah, a great comedian. Buzz Aldrin, a liar. Surely not, right? Did you see the video that I put up selling the moon landing? Did you hear what they said about Buzz Aldrin? He's a drunk, depression. He's a drunk and has got depression. That's his occupation. It was about a year, no, 10 years, I think, after the first Apollo moon landing. They done a documentary, and they referred to Buzz Aldrin as a drunk with depression. I shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't laugh at that, but I mean, Buzz is the one today leading the way. Still today, and his own children claim he's not mentally stable, and they tried to sue him, or he tried to sue them actually. And of course, he just got married again, right? Some guy, Buzz. Honestly, what a guy. Some actor. But there you go. I'm going to try and keep an eye on the chat, but um, it's going to be difficult. So, in my own view, it's NASA who you want to be looking at. If you want to look into weather modification, geoengineering, there's no other place to start than NASA. And here's a document for you to begin. This one came out in January 1980. So before I was even born, and they're talking about stratospheric aerosol modification by supersonic transport operations with climate implications. What? Wait, what? Climate implications from contrails? Huh. Surely not, right? Of course, yeah, chemtrails would be more appropriate. But that would be a conspiracy theory again. So we're not going to get into this too much tonight, but I am going to link it in if I can somehow manage that. And people can have a look. Will that work? I think it might. I'm hoping. Hey, Yeah, it can work. It did work even. If not, I can link it in as well at the end. Is Frank in the hood as well? Ah, there he goes. Frank's here. Dilip as well in the hood. Yeah, and they don't make any. They did not hide any of Buzz Aldrin's connections between him and the secret societies, the Freemasons. And they tried to say, I mean, it cracks me up big time. They tried to say that Buzz Aldrin took a Masonic apron or a wee Masonic flag to the moon, and they set up the first ever Masonic lodge on the moon. Fuck it up. But of course, they never left the flag there. Oh, no, no, no. That would just be stupid, right? I mean, why would you do that? No, you take it back. Yeah, you take it back. Of course you do. You take it back and you put it into a museum. Yeah. Now, in my view, it never went anywhere. It certainly never went to the moon. It would have been in Buzz's pocket the whole time, probably, wherever he went to the base in New Mexico. But there's so many things as well that point to the moon landing being faked that it's almost over comprehensive, so blatantly obviously faked that it's hard not to see how you could think that it wasn't faked. And I kind of thought the same, which is interesting with the when it comes to 9/11. It's so blatantly obvious. It's almost it's almost like they never even tried. They didn't want to hide the fact that it's not the official story. So, I mean, when you start digging and you dig even more, all you end up doing is getting more questions. Well, why is it so obvious? Is the I mean 9/11 when you think about it, it kind of you could maybe say it was or is the seed of many, many people's awakening. Many, many people. A lot of people when you say to them, "Oh, like what woke you up?" or "How did you start questioning the world that we're in?" 9/11 is probably 8 times out of 10 the answer. And would I personally call 9/11 the seed of the current truth movement, if you want to call it that? I don't know. It certainly helped it. Certainly, it certainly bolstered it big time. But then again, many, many things have. Um, I mean, in my own view, it's undeniable. When you look at 9/11, it's undeniable that it was an inside job and it wasn't carried out by the people they say it was. But then again, what do I know, right? So good to see Frank in the hood as well tonight. I'm going to take you to now um, this article here. And now we're getting into the nitty gritty, if you like. We're going to MIT technology. Hooray! And the topic is climate change. Shock horror. I don't know if we're even going to get time to go through everything. Ah! But hey, we'll try our best, right? We're going to go maybe about another hour. potentially. So I do apologize. Get him off. Yeah. Hey, it won't be too long, right? So, researchers, the good guys, launched a solar geoengineering test flight in the UK last fall. Huh? Huh. So, some of you might have been aware. Um, I reckon most people probably not, because I didn't know, but you might have, to be fair. I actually only seen this about 2 days ago. Until then, it wasn't even going to get mentioned. Ah, Justine, you're too kind. You're too kind, Justine. I appreciate you being here. And thank you for everyone's time tonight. I hope you're doing well. I was ill last week. I'm a lot better now. My body went through a severe detox, if you like. And I kind of feel a lot better, which is interesting, right? I guess it's a bit like shedding a skin, maybe. It's like a snake shedding its skin. Man, can I blame it on it being late? I guess I can. It's 11 o'clock now, so cue the complete failure. What's the dog doing? I think he's wanting out. I better let him out. You wanting out? Honestly, I don't know what he's doing. Smudge, what are you doing? Hmm? I don't know. So, the experiment, largely designed to test equipment, took place despite deep concerns about the technology. And again, who do these people think they are? Honestly, if I could get a hold of them in real life, I wouldn't let go. I shit you not. I would not be letting go. And they would be getting it full pelt from me, because they have got no right whatsoever. Not on my watch. No way. When did we agree to it? We didn't. Shock horror, right? I mean, what do we ever agree on that happens? Nothing. We just get told, and that's it. It gets implemented no matter what we think about it, no matter what we say, it gets put upon us. And the UK is a prime example of the absolute tyranny that we're in, the world that we're in. You've got the Conservative government who they had Boris Johnson, who I think might have got voted by people in an election, which is staggering, but there you go. Probably rigged, of course. So you could say, well, he got voted, but when he left, the lady who followed him, not Teresa. Can't even remember her fucking name. She was in the door for about 2 minutes, and that quick, I can't even remember her bloody name. Oh, what was her name again? Anyway, she took over as prime minister, and no one voted her in. Oh no, 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 no! Not one public person, registered voter of the UK voted for that lady, but she was the prime minister of the UK for about a minute. What was her name again? Liz Truss. That was her name. I remembered it. She, I mean, yeah, there was an interesting situation with her regarding the Nord Stream situation. We might get into that in the future. Of course, we know what happened there blatantly. But she came in the door for about a minute, and like I said, no one voted her in. And then we got the guy, Richie Sunak, and no one voted for him either. And he's still the Prime Minister of the UK. Not one person voted for him or the person before. Add to that, in Scotland, the entity that is Hitler back from the dead with a strange gender transformation, aka Nicola Sturgeon, the Sturgeonator, finally decapitated. She left, and another guy took over. Hamza, Hamza Useless is his name. And again, would you Adam and Eve it? Not one person voted for this guy to be the first minister of Scotland, but he is. And he is the first Scottish minister to be of ethnic background. Hooray for ethnicity! Ethnicity! Yeah, right. So they beat the ethnicity drum, but they also say, well, oh, it's not about colour, right? But they beat the ethnicity drum. They promote the fact that he's a Muslim and of Asian ethnicity. They promote it. But they also say, oh, well, it's not about what colour you are. Who are they trying to fucking kid? And it is typical of society that we're in. It's like double speak, if you like. And there was an interesting call on Richie Allen where some transgender guy or girl, I don't even know, I can't remember exactly. I think it was a guy. Some transgender dude, he phones up the Richie Allen show and he's saying, look, people say it's about LGBTQ is about sex, but it's not about sex. Huh. Right, so here's us maybe thinking it's about sex. Oh, here's this guy phoning us telling us, oh, it's not about sex. Right. So let's take that on board. It's not about sex. Right. So if it's not about sex, then they would all be fucking straight. But the issue in the bottom line is they feel that they ain't straight. They're of a different sexuality. So the bare root of it is about sex. That's the bottom line. When you get right down to it and scrape away the rest of how somebody might want to fucking live, I couldn't care less if they're an adult. Knock yourself out. But when they're putting this onto children in a even education setup, nope. That is way too far. Way too over the line. And we've said it before. It's the only way I can describe that, the gender situation in an educational sense, is child abuse. That's the bottom line. And I thought the cheek of that guy to phone up and try and say it's not about sex. Well, I'm sorry, but if it's not, then they're all straight. But of course, they're not all straight. If they were, there wouldn't be an LGBTQXYZP, would there? So this, it's not about sex nonsense. Don't fucking let it float. Don't be fooled by it in any way, shape, or form. And again, if I was gonna phone up after after that guy had phoned and set the record straight. How anyone can say it's not about sex clearly does not fucking understand the situation. If it's not about that, then what is it about? So jumping back to, I better let the dog out. Come on then. He'll be wanting barking in 10 minutes' time. Honestly, barking probably. So, last September, researchers in the UK launched a high altitude weather balloon. Wow. Is that the one that can't be the one they shot down, right? Surely not. The balloon, they launched a high altitude weather balloon that released a few hundred grams of sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere. A potential scientific first in the geoengineering field. MIT technology has learned. Hooray! Cue the celebrations, the champagne, the fireworks. Yeah, maybe not. So last September, we had history in the making in the UK. And I'm unsure if anyone knew about it. To be honest, they seem to have. It seems to have been done under the radar, so to speak. I would be interested to know if anyone knew about it. So we had a scientific first. Solar geoengineering is the theory that humans can ease global warming by deliberately reflecting more sunlight into space. One possible means is spraying sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere in an effort to mimic a cooling effect that occurs in the aftermath of, wait for it, yep, you guessed it, of major volcanic eruptions. What, like the one in 1919? Yeah, that one. It is highly controversial given concerns about potential unintended consequences, among other issues. Yeah. Unintended consequences. We've touched on them. The unknown unknowns. The unknown unknowns. So many unknowns. Yeah. The UK effort was not a test or experiment in geoengineering itself. Rather, the stated goal was to evaluate low cost, controllable, recoverable, balloon system, according to details obtained by MIT Technology Review. Such a system could be used for small-scale geoengineering, or perhaps for an eventual distributed geoengineering development involving numerous balloons. Hooray! We could paint them all different colors. Yay! It would be like, I don't know, the circus. Yeah. A horror circus, if you ask me. So multiple balloons, numerous balloons. Yeah. We might come back to that, but this is the one that you're not going to believe. To be honest, well, you will. Let's face it. The quote: stratospheric aerosol transport and nucleation, or Satan. Yep, or Satan. I mean, you could not make it up. Stratospheric aerosol transport and nucleation, abbreviated as Satan himself. Why? I mean, just why would you? Why would you do it? Why would you go with that? You simply wouldn't. Unless, of course, you had good reason to, I guess. So they reckoned it cost about $1,000 to create this balloon. Who bloody sold them it? They seen them coming, right? $1,000 for a balloon and a radio transmitter, maybe a camera, a GoPro, a 10 bag of sulfur dioxide. Surely not hard to get, right? So it's abbreviated as Satan. And I kind of had to look at it twice. I thought, wait, what? But of course, yeah. Of course it is. So that'll give you an idea as to why the video got named Satan in Motion. And I think the image that I got is quite fitting as well. So seemingly, they have submitted a paper detailing the results of the effort to a journal, but it has not yet been published. Lockley largely declined to discuss the matter ahead of publication, but he did express frustration that the scientific process was being circumvented because it got leaked, seemingly. Quote, "Leakers be damned," close quote, he wrote in an email to MIT Technology Review. Quote, "I've tried to follow the straight and narrow path and wait for the judgment day of peer review." The holy grail, right? But it appears a colleague has been led astray by diabolical temptation, close quote. I mean, what did they offer the guy? A bag of sulfur. We'll give you a bag of sulfur if you leak the non-peer reviewed report. And what would be the benefit of it? To who exactly? I'm always very, very suspicious when they claim something got leaked. Yeah, leakers be damned. Damn you, leakers. He's not happy, right? The guy. Lockley. Quote, "There's a special place in hell for those who leak their colleagues' work, tormented by ever-burning sulphur," he added. "But I have taken a vow of silence, and I can only confirm that our craft ascended to the heavens as intended. I only hope that this test plays a small part in offering mankind salvation from the hellish inferno of, you guessed it, climate change. Dun dun dun. Close quote. Yeah. Interesting use of words there, right? A special place in hell, tormented by ever burning sulphur. I only hope that this test plays a small part in offering mankind salvation from the hellish inferno of climate change. Yeah, Satan. That is interesting, that. So they discuss a wee bit about the experiment itself. It does mention it mentions the make sunsets cowboys, the cowboys, right, which is quite fitting. Make sunsets effort was widely denounced by researchers in geoengineering, critics of the field, and the government of Mexico. Yeah, they certainly weren't happy, right? Good. Which announced plans to prohibit and even halt any solar geoengineering experiments within the country. Among other issues, observers were concerned that the launches had moved ahead without prior notice or approval. And because the company ultimately seeks to monetize such launches by selling, quote, cooling credits, close quote. Yeah, imagine making money from this or these kind of things, right? Like, I don't know, pandemics. Yeah. Surely people never made money from that. Yeah, the cheek of these people, honestly. The brass neck is completely it's astonishing, to be honest. Um Only they are allowed to decide who can capitalize on what is now a gigantic guilt, this overhanging guilt that a lot of the masses, the sheeple, have got because of climate change, because they live in a world where they believe they done it, they've caused it. In a in a sense, I kind of feel sorry for them, and I kind of want to grab them and shake them, and just shake them awake. I might be there a while, right? But just kind of shake them awake and say, look, it's not you. You've not done it. You don't have the burden to carry. It's not us that have done it. But people will, and I did say this way back, they will capitalize on that guilt. Make no two ways about it. They will, and they already are. And if you don't know what I mean by that, well, the sheeple, the average Joe Blogs, if you like, who has this guilt, this overwhelming, oh, I've killed the fucking world. Because they are out there. They're going to look for ways to mitigate, if you pardon the pun, their guilt. And what better way than throwing your hard-earned money at buying cooling credits to help mitigate climate change? It's if you like, get out of free jail card. And of course, it all boils down to, again, this holy grail of getting to what they call net zero, the golden carrot. Look, it's over here. Come and get it. Net zero. Oh, you missed it. But, don't give up yet. You can still get it if you go ahead with solar geoengineering. Then you can get the golden carrot. And of course, do you actually believe we're ever going to get the golden carrot? Of course we don't get the carrot. But we fall for it. I'm saying we very lightly there, to be honest. But you know what I mean, right? So we'll jump away from that because we've kind of went a bit long. But you could not fucking make that up. Satan. And it boils my blood, that, because I mean it's like, wow. Honestly, you kind of could have predicted that, right? Satan himself is releasing balloons of sulfur. Yeah, let's go with that. So when I talk about NASA, another entity I would put in the same boat as NASA would be the Met Office. And when I compare NASA and the Met Office, there's pretty much no difference whatsoever. The only difference is the Met Office don't claim to be a space agency. Not yet, anyway. Look out for it, though. Look out for it. Maybe they will go down that route. But they are definitely what you might be able to call a weather agency. And there's always certain things that give it away. There's certain things that two entities that are peas in a pod will say. They'll say it the exact same way to a T. It'll be dressed up in a different way, but it'll be the same bottom line. And when it comes to NASA and the Met Office, it's they say the exact same thing when it comes to geoengineering. Oh, we're not going to be implementing geoengineering, but there's a big but. Of course, there's always a big but, right? So I'll explain it a wee bit more what I mean, because if we go to the Met Office website and their, I guess, geoengineering page, if you like, they talk about what is geoengineering, blah, blah, blah. We know all about solar God's sake. We know all about SRM, solar radiation modification. Spraying particles back to space, sure. And carbon removal, we know about that. They want to bury it and also kill the sea. Yep. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Kill the sea. I shit you not. They want to kill it. stone fucking dead. Shock horror, pretty much like us all, right? I shouldn't laugh, but I mean, they want to poison the sea and poison the sky, our food, our water, our soil. What do they stop at? Honestly, there is no end game. The control is constant. The fight backs forever. The pushbacks forever. But we keep going. We can never give in. We can't stop the talking. We can't stop the battle. We can rest. We can recuperate. But the fight, the warrior within will keep going. No two ways about it. We're never going to bend or break, no matter what they do, no matter what they throw at us, no matter what toxins, chemicals, bribes, blackmails, bullying. It ain't happening. So they talk about how what geoengineering is and how basically they won't be implementing it, but their contribution will be the research. That's what they'll be doing. Similar to NASA. And they also beat the drum about more research. We need to do more. Because, yeah, it's going to happen. So they take the same to a T stance as NASA, where they don't advocate any particular approach to mitigation, but they do the research. Not only that, similar to NASA, and only NASA, they use the Met Office contribution will be based on simulations using climate models, and we do not advocate or provide context for real world physical experiments. And that there is basically NASA. If you removed the Met Office and replaced it with NASA, it would be the same, and you could go and find it right now. I pretty much guarantee you on the NASA website. It'll be the same. They're two entities that are peas in a pod. And again, I want to stress my view that NASA are not a space agency. They are a climate company. A climate company, not a space agency. And that you can take to the bank in my personal view, right? Of course, yeah, they're going to go to Mars though, right? They're gearing up. I think in April, the 3rd of April, they're announcing the crew who they who they're gonna send to Mars. And do you know this? I was so hoping it was gonna be on April Fool's Day, the 1st of April, because that would have just been the cherry on the cake, man. Come on. Hopefully they'll move it forward to the 1st of April and unveil the crew on April Fool's Day. I mean, that will be you honestly, that'll just say it all, let's face it. I wonder what kind of crew they're gonna get. It's all gonna be transgender and non-binary. They're probably not one white person in it. Talk about diversity, right? But there you go. So I'll keep an eye out for it. I'm always keeping an eye on NASA, and they're continuously cancelling everything that they've got planned. Every time I'd go to check it out, oh, it got postponed. Oh, it got cancelled. But yet when it came to the moon landing, nope, no cancellations whatsoever. And imagine the technology they had back then. It must have been amazing. But today, not so good. Funny that, right? Now, I've mentioned before, when it comes to Greta Thunberg, she she actually is against not Warren G, we don't want that. She's actually against solar geoengineering, which I find quite upside down, if you like. It's like, wait a minute, surely not. How can we agree on this? We simply can't. But we, by the looks of it, do. We are still live by the looks of it. I want to show you.
Vision problems. Try this
Have I
simple
got my
ice hack with
headphones?
water before bed. Every human has around 100.
It's only a short video. Where are they? Here they go. So I'll put them on. We could go about another 20 minutes, right? Cambridge University. There you go. I want to show you this video. Is it going to play? Replay.
There's one metaphor that perfectly describes everything about geoengineering, and that is, when you're in a hole, stop digging. We cannot move out of this crisis with the same mindset that got us into this.
Why is it doing that?
Polluters are trying to prevent us from moving away from fossil fuels, from which they profit greatly. And so they're offering up false solutions. And among the most pernicious of these false solutions is the promise of geoengineering.
Pollution for a pollution problem. Deliberate climate change as a solution to climate change is not just insane, but it is, as Einstein said, repeating the mindset that got you into the crisis in the first place.
Each year that you treat the symptom with solar geoengineering instead of addressing the root cause, which is carbon dioxide emissions, the amount of solar geoengineering you do has to be increased.
Our job is to do the hard work, having hit bottom as a society, of getting ourselves off the drug that got us into this problem, instead of just finding some new one to cover it up along the way.
Solar geoengineering reinforces the power of wealthy elites and creates yet another mechanism to concentrate power.
There are all these conflicts of interest where the scientists who are pushing this most aggressively have their own private companies which benefit from the normalization of the idea of a techno-fix.
Shock horror.
So many potential negative repercussions and risk that we feel would have a disproportionate burden on our indigenous peoples.
We as indigenous peoples do not approve of the development towards this solar geoengineering technology, and nor for it to be conducted in or above our lands, and nor in any ecosystems anywhere.
Yeah. So it's a bit weird finding yourself agreeing with Greta Thunberg, because
people think Lennon Piano takes a...
She's kind of right. We would be only digging a hole even more. That's what we're going to be doing. And one of the guys in the video said basically that they would have to continue doing it more and more each time, every year. And again, when we think back to what we've seen in regards to unintended effects or consequences, if they were to go ahead with it, then stop, that would then cause a severe termination shock. And I reckon if we ever get to that point, we're going to see extreme weather on an extreme scale that we potentially have never seen before. And if we do get to that point, and I really hope we don't, if we do get to that point, it's not going to be by accident. No way. And it's not going to be because of us. It's going to be because they've done it. Deliberately done it. None of it, in my view, will be by accident. No way. And if anybody out there thinks that any entity who promotes geoengineering has got your best interests at heart, you need to go and get a fucking brain scan. Because this will benefit not one soul out there except from the psychopaths who push it and benefit from it in a monetary sense, which some people they see as success, right? Oh, look at him. He's a millionaire. He's successful. Yeah. What did he promote? The Pfizer juice? Yeah. Yeah. Success, right? But at what cost? So we'll jump to quickly this article here, the conversation. It came out on the 26th of March. How and where we build needs to change in the face of more extreme weather. The insurance industry can help. Yeah, it can help by not insuring any of these properties that may be classed as being in what they're calling a red zone. I think Carmel is a Kiwi. Am I right in calling you a New Zealand person a Kiwi? Is that racist? Maybe, right? Would it be racist if I called you a Maori? That might be racist. I don't know. Everything appears to be racist today. But again, we've seen this coming. We've seen this coming for a long time now. You're only going to get to stay where they tell you you can stay. Otherwise, your house will be, your residential area will be condemned, red zoned. As New Zealand considers how to better prepare for a future affected by climate change, the insurance sector needs to be part of the discussion on whether and how, on where and how we build our homes. Huh. Yeah, let's let them decide. Sure. What's the worst that can happen, right? This involvement should include input into future building standards. Yeah. Insurers should also play a key role in deciding which areas of New Zealand are removed from residential use, aka red zoned, and when this red zoning should occur. Hooray! So, you might want to be careful if you're planning on buying a property, because you could buy one next week and then in a month's time it's red zoned, worth pretty much nothing. That won't be a problem that I'll have, because I'm certainly not planning on buying any property. That's not something I'll be doing. Put it that way. I kind of feel for people who they do have property and they're unsure what to do. You've got to do your research, right? You've got to. A volatile world that we're in. I mean, it would be awkward. Do you sell up? Do you save? Do you bank the money? Can you trust the bank? Would the house get sold? Is it a good idea to sell at the moment? Would you risk keeping it and then having it red zoned, condemned, right? They will condemn a lot of properties for not just this, but for what they deem as being not carbon efficient. So not good enough for the green world that we're in now. And it'll get condemned. They'll shut it down because they'll blame it for the extreme weather. So the masses eventually, they'll want the houses closed down, knocked down. Yeah, build us a super duper eco home, a super duper smart eco house. What more could you ask for, right? Yeah, you'll own nothing and be happy and live in a bloody matchbox, put it that way. So they're talking about how, and we predicted this, we knew this was coming. They're talking about how they're not enough's getting done. We need to do more. You're not doing enough, right? The weather's still the weather. It's not going away. How do we combat this? So they're beating the drum continuously now. Oh, look, a big wave. I hope the lighthouse is going to be okay. Bloody climate change. So we're not doing enough. You're going to hear that a lot more. A lot more. Because they're wanting to push it to a tipping point, a boiling point, where we knee-jerk react. I wonder what the solution's going to be. So we're not doing enough, right? We know we're going to be told that. But this is the BBC, of all people. Quite funny. Why does climate change cause extreme weather? Blah, blah, blah. Hotter, blah, blah, blah. What is being done? Government spending money to prevent flooding. Billions and billions and billions and billions. But of course, not enough is being done. Look at this. We've got a wildfire in England, Sheffield. A wildfire in someone's back garden. I mean, she didn't laugh at that. But a wildfire in someone's back garden, probably a cigarette butt. So what are they saying? That climate change done that? Climate change done it. Probably some kid set it on fire. What are they blaming? They must be blaming that on climate change, man. Oh my God. Of course it was climate change. Let's go with that. But what I want to point out as well is this. I mean, fucking hell. Although climate change is a huge issue and it needs countries and big companies to make changes, the United Nations suggests ways you can help too. Hooray! All hail the United Nations. Thank God they're there, right? Yeah, they've got the solutions. Oh, man. So you can save energy at home. Simple actions like turning devices or lights off when you're not using them can save energy. So, yeah, I think we know not to have items on when we're not using them. We're not that stupid. We might forget from time to time, but I'm surprised they don't say just switch it off completely. You're not allowed to use things anymore. Nope, it's not happening. So, yeah, switch everything off. Don't worry about it. Drive less. So, forget about the car. No, 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 no. Put it away. Unless it's an Elon Musk Tesla, you can pretty much forget it. Cars are going to be, well, at least petrol and diesel cars, potentially a thing of the past. So you can drive less, walk, cycle, or take public transport. It'll keep you fit. I don't know how taking public transport would keep you fit unless you're being chased by someone. Eat more vegetables and less meat. Oh, yeah, because meat's that's a biggie, right? Vegetables don't have to be boring, which is true. I'll give them that. They can be full of flavors and spices. Yep. I would agree with that. If you do eat meat, choosing food that's locally produced can reduce the amount of carbon produced. So, again, pretty much you're talking about driving or vehicles. Cut food waste, recycle, which is quite funny, given the fact that recycling doesn't work, clearly. And if anything, recycling's actually made the situation worse. Who'd have thought it, right? And they are coming out and saying that now. Whoops. Maybe not such a good idea after all, but there you go, right? Hey, we just go with what they tell us, of course. And speak up, seemingly. Like Greta. And hey, I wouldn't trust Greta as far as I could throw her. But I'll call a spade a spade. She's right about geoengineering. It is not the answer. But of course, as always, they don't go far enough because we know it's already going on. It's already happening. But you won't hear Greta saying that. I can assure you. If the day comes, I'll be the first to hold my hand up and say, "Yep, she said it. I was wrong," but she won't. No way. And a lot going on tornado-wise in the UK. But, sorry, not the UK. Not yet. America. But don't worry, Joe Biden is on the case. What is there to fear, right, when Big Joe is it? Oh, do you know what? Where's my charger? We're away to finish, but is it switched on? Ah, we're okay. The battery was away to die. So Joe Biden's still going, believe it or not. I mean, I don't know. Is he a robot? Is he a clone? Has he got a mask on? Is he a lot of different people? But this is one we've seen and we've predicted. where they're going to be talking about, yeah, the weather's bad, but it's going to be worse. It's going to get a lot worse. It's going to get more extreme. A lot more extreme. To a point where they predicted already that there will be weather events in the future that will sharpen the minds of the masses to geoengineering. So, we're not quite there yet. This year, we're going to see a lot more. But I think by the time we get into this time next year, it's going to be twice as bad. And I reckon by 2027, there will be all out in the open geoengineering, stratospheric aerosol injection. No barriers, not hidden in no way. Before, I kind of thought by 2030, but I am putting it earlier than you guessed it, previously thought. I'm a victim of the syndrome. Now, I reckon it's going to be earlier. And it might actually even be before then, depending on what goes down. And we'll get into... I want to kind of cover the current tornado situation. So we might do that next week. There's a few bits I want to get into. Nothing major, of course. That's life, but not as we know it. We'll kind of wrap it up for tonight. We'll jump into the chat. We'll stop screen sharing. We are live, hopefully, across the two channels tonight. And I do appreciate everyone who takes time to watch, engage, especially the people on the website. I know a lot of people... Well, not many people, to be honest. I mean, I'm saying a lot of people, that's stretching a wee bit. But the core sort of group that we've got, they are on the website, they do engage and so forth. And I would like to thank everyone who has. They're the people who definitely go out their way to check out the content. The majority of people, they won't go off of YouTube. They simply won't. And that's completely fine. I'm not going to tell people what to do. But I certainly do see the core group of people who follow the content regularly, and they look out for it. And I also want to apologize that I've not had the time to maybe do as much live streams as I would like to. Of course, we did have 2 weeks in the prison, the YouTube prison, and I did get the convid, if you like. Let's go with that. I got the super duper Omicron, or whatever it was. So I had a detox, so I was out the game as well then. And of course, I've got my college work, which is ongoing, and I'm really enjoying my time at college. I'm learning so much. The other day, on the Tuesday, the lecturers asked myself and another student who's become a good friend of mine if we would speak to the class below, and basically talk to them about the level that we're on and what you can learn and how different it might be, because they obviously, if they continue with the education, they'll go on to the next level, the one that I'm on. So I agreed to it, and we done it on the Tuesday and spoke to the level below, which was quite daunting, even for me, talking to a class of students. But hey, it was, to be honest, it wasn't a problem, and I think I think we sold the course quite well. We told them a bit about the course and what you do and what you learn. But I also added a wee bit of sort of my own thoughts on different things, if you like, which was kind of off topic, but not really in my own view, because I wanted to stress to people that if they're currently in an education or a job that they enjoy and they're happy and they're content, do not stop doing it. Keep doing it. Because if you're actually doing something at the moment that you enjoy, you're halfway there. Because it can take people a long, long time in their life to get to find something they're content with that they enjoy doing. So I really wanted to stress the fact that in my own personal experience, I had found something that I really enjoyed when I'm learning about anything to do with plant life or anything in a horticultural sense. I really enjoy it. It's not like a task or daunting. I really get stuck right into it, and the time just flies. And I was thinking as well, it's perfect for me when it comes to the whole subject of horticulture. I struggle to say it, which is quite funny. But when it comes to the whole topic, it combines quite a lot of my main interests, which would be the interest I've got in plant life currently, but also the history that comes along with horticulture and plants is enormous, extensive. So with my interest in history, I can have that sort of fulfilled as well, because honestly, the history connected to it is staggering. But also when you're dealing with plant life, you've got the wildlife aspect. So it's all interlinked. And of course, wildlife for me is a massive topic that I really do enjoy. So I've kind of combined three main interests that I've got. And I feel like I'm at home and I don't feel like I'm learning. When I go to college and I'm on site at the gardens, working in the tunnels, whatever it may be, I could be there all day. Time is irrelevant. Time is gone, completely gone. And it's took me quite a long time in my life to get to that point, to find this sort of chemistry that's perfect for me. And I feel that it's for my own well-being, it's worked wonders. And I can only highly recommend it. It might not be for everyone, of course, but if they do enjoy it, then keep doing it. Don't let it go. Keep going. Keep doing it. So I kind of put that across to them, and I think a lot of them might have took it on board. Maybe not. Get him off, they said. Right? Who is this guy? But I also did stress that the world that we're in, and I did say this. I said, look, you could potentially learn knowledge here at the college, the horticultural department, that would work, is going to work wonders in your future life, especially when you're talking about growing your own food, because we're in a seriously unstable world. And I never said that, but I said the way the world is. I didn't want to scare I didn't want to scare anyone. We're all doomed. But I said, look, the way the world is, honestly, the knowledge that you gain from the expertise that's at the college, because you've got five different lecturers who have between them probably hundreds of years combined knowledge. They're worth their weight in gold. Honestly, they're like a walk-in library. The information that they have, people would pay a lot of money to get access to it. Honest to God. So I stressed that as well. Don't take it for granted. So I put that across, and I thought I'd done quite well. It was a wee bit daunting. It was the first time I had ever spoken to a class of students. I've spoke to people before in a environment, a kind of, I don't know, like a meeting, a hustings or a political or local event. I've done that once or twice, which is, that's a bit nerve-wracking as well, to be honest. And if you're nervous, you always mess it up. So you've got to kind of think about what you're going to say and just go with it, right? So I thought I'd done all right. The other student with me, she done really well, but she is from teaching background, so she's got that in the bank, right? But I think actually combined, we worked really well together because we both covered quite a lot. So that was an interesting experience for me. I don't quite fancy being a teacher. I mean, I think there is parts of me that I would be good at in a teaching sense, but I also feel that I'm not very patient or not patient enough when it comes to dealing with awkward people. Put it that way. You've got to have the patience of a saint. Talking to students about a certain subject is maybe a different story, but I mean, I've seen it in the past at college. I've thought to myself, Jesus, I've not got the patience for this guy. The questions, the constant just, oh no. So yeah, I guess you would get used to it, right? They don't get paid enough, to be honest. The teachers, they should probably get paid a lot more. Then again, so should the majority of people, public sector workers, doctors, nurses. They don't, certainly in my view, don't get paid enough. They used to do a great job, maybe not so much today. But they get paid pennies compared to what they should get paid. And the cheek of the politicians, they pay themselves staggering amounts of money to do nothing but rob the public, rob them blind. And they give themselves pay rises. They give themselves pay rises. Yep. But the nurses and the doctors and everyone's going on strike, but they don't realize they're actually digging their own grave as well. And that's how it's going to go down. Pretty much all the people that are on strike, eventually they won't even need them they'll simply be replaced either by migrant workers or AI. So none of this is by coincidence or accident. It's all coinciding with the Great Reset, the Great Robbery. So we'll say cheerio and we'll call it a night because we've went right into Thursday. We're into morning time now. So I reckon I'm gonna be back again on let me think. Let me think. Do we know what film that's from? I reckon maybe Saturday, possibly. So look out for it, right? If not Sunday, I think tomorrow I'm live on John Davidson's channel. I've still got to watch the film. Oh no, not tomorrow, on Friday. So I better watch it. But I reckon for me it's gonna be Saturday or Sunday, and it won't be on the original channel. It's just a bit too risky at the moment. When we're on one strike, we'll be able to breathe a bit more. But until then, it's gonna be on the backup channel, which I should have had a link for. Bugger. Now I'm not gonna get it. I'm gonna see if I can get it quickly while we're here and before I disappear into the abyss. A lot of strange activity in the skies at night at the moment. We'll get into that as well. Is this it? Here we go. So I'll put the link in for the backup channel, and if you've not checked it out before, now's your time, right? Because that is likely where it's all going to go down until about May. I've kind of got to do it to protect the original channel. But with that said, it can still get deleted. It could be to no avail, to no end. But we're going to try. At the end of the day, we don't want it deleted, but we know the game that we're in. We know the situation we're in. We don't fear it. We keep going. We don't bend. We don't break. And we don't, for one split second, live in fear. No way. And before I say what I always say, thank you to Wendy B and Vanessa as well in the hood. Good to see you. Oh, and the beautiful, the wonderful Justine. A pleasure to have you tonight. I hope you're doing well. And it was a joy to see you have been spending some priceless time with your grandkids. That I do like to see. So great stuff. We're not streaming on the website, Frank. Oh, where did it go? There it goes. Tonight, but we will be in the future, right? So I think I've worked it out now. So we will. It'll be on the website and the backup until about I think it's about the middle of May when I get my first strike removed. The current one, at least, we're on 2, so a bit dodgy, right? It's a bit iffy tonight. Scotty as well in the hood. Good to see Scotty back again. Carol, a pleasure to have Carol tonight. Frank, Justine, Scotty, Mike Mitt as well in the hood. A pleasure to see you. I appreciate everyone's time tonight, and if I missed you, I do apologize. Jack as well. A pleasure to see Jack back again. I appreciate you engaging. If I missed you, I'll catch you the next time, I guess, right? Thank you again to everyone. Look out for the website. I'm trying to improve it all the time. It's pretty much time consuming. It's hard keeping the two channels going, the website going. Odyssey doesn't seem to get much time, but I've synced it in. I can only do work with the tools that I've got, right? You can only pedal with the hose that you've got, right? We'll go with that. So let me see if I can find a tune. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their week. The weather's a bit, yeah. I mean, we know the spraying is continuous, but we are heading into better weather, at least here in Scotland. We're not quite out of the woods yet, but the sun is appearing a lot more. The clocks went forward, the birds are singing, the mating has begun, the flowers are coming out. It's the time of year that I love. I love it. I can't get enough of it, to be honest. I kind of want this time to go on for longer. But before you know it, you're into summertime, which is, again, great. I love the summer. Not a big fan of the winter, but in Scotland, what you going to do, right? What you going to do? Move to the Caribbean? That probably is the answer, let's face it. Or, hey, Mexico, right? There's always Mexico. So we'll find a tune and we'll call it a night, right? So, like I always say, no matter where you are, no matter what, do not comply. And that is about it. Bye-bye.
Oh, Florida, Scotland, will we see your lights again? That fought and died for, yet we beheld and glen and stood against him. Proud Edward's army and sent them home. They think again. The hills are bare now. Autumn leaves lie vacant still. O'er land that's been lost now, which those so dearly held had stood against him. Proud Edward's army and sent him home. They think again. Oh, Florida, Scotland, will we see your lights again? That fought and died for, yet we beheld and glen and stood against him. Proud Edward's army and sent